What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Quick 60 Sports. Today, I'm going to give you my long-awaited NFL playoff picks for this year. And I'm going to start by going to my pick predictor here. And we're going to go over each game, game by game. So first, we're going to go over the Pats against the Bills, -4. And so these teams have played twice in the regular season. The Patriots have won the first game in those terrible windy conditions where Mac Jones, I think, only had one pass the whole game. And the Bills were trying to throw the ball, but they just couldn't with accuracy throughout that wind, that piercing wind. And then the second game wasn't really as windy. And Josh Allen ended up having 314 yards total and 3 touchdowns as well. And, if this game starts getting out of hand for the Patriots, the Bills have the number 1 pass defense in the league. And so that's not going to bode well for Mac Jones being a rookie. As well as I know Bill Belichick is a standout defensive guru, and he's going to have some things to stop Josh Allen. But at the same time, Bill Belichick usually loves to take away their best weapon, but the Bills have so many weapons. I mean, are you going to take away Cole Beasley? You're going to take away Stephon Diggs? You're going to take away Josh Allen from running the ball? I mean, you're going to spy him. So there's a lot of options. You can't just take away one thing. You're going to take away Dawson Knox. He's been pretty good as well. And so that's going to be really hard on the Patriots. The only thing that can keep the Patriots in the game is that the Bills' run defense isn't as good as their pass defense. And so the Patriots can have some success running the ball and keeping the game close. But, if the Bills had Tre'Davious White, I can only imagine how good their pass defense can be because it's already number 1. And so I'm going with the Bills this game over the Patriots, but it's going to be a close game. Okay, I mean, Bills -4, that's about right as far as how Vegas predicted it. So I'm taking the Bills, and they're favored to win. I think they're going to win that game. Moving on to the Bengals and the Raiders. So the Bengals and the Raiders, that's a really interesting game because the Bengals are on a high horse right now because they did beat, in fact, the Kansas City Chiefs a week ago and in that shootout. Everybody was anticipating the Chargers to win against the Raiders, and Brandon Staley messed that up wholeheartedly. But the Raiders made the playoffs, and Raiders fans are deservingly excited. But at the same time, the Bengals offense is still stellar. The Raiders pass defense, isn't that good. The Joe Burrow, he lights up, as I mentioned in my other videos, he lights up the blitz. And if you blitz Joe Burrow, that's why he lit up the Chiefs. They blitz a lot, quite a bit. He lights up the Ravens because the Ravens, they also blitz more than any team in the NFL. So deservingly so, Joe Burrow lights them up as well. But fun fact, the Raiders actually blitz least amount in the whole NFL. So they just apply pressure with their good front four, Max Crosby and company, and they get after the quarterback. So they're going to be able to drop 7 back in coverage against Joe Burrow and those awesome receivers that he has. So, that's kind of scary for if you're a Bengals fan. But, at least they have Jesse Bates in the secondary as well. Jermaine Pratt's going to have to bring his game as well. Because Darren Waller, he's going to exploit the middle of the field. He didn't have that great of a game against the Chargers, but luckily he's back, and he's going to have a huge game against the Bengals. So they're going to need Darren Waller and also Josh Jacobs to perform. Bengals run defense is about similar to the Raiders run defense as well. The Raiders run defense is actually really good. They stopped the Broncos. They put clamps on people running the ball. So Joe Mixon probably won't have a huge game this game, but look for Joe Burrow to air the ball out as well. Okay, so it's going to be – I would go with the Raiders if the weather conditions were right, but it's supposed to be really cold, possibly really like in the 20s, low 20s, and I just don't like road teams, especially dome teams that like to air it out and stuff, playing in Ohio in the cold weather, who's not used to playing in Ohio in the cold weather. And they're on the road. And so for that reason, it's going to be a close game, but I'm picking the Bengals on the road. All right. So those are my picks so far. All right. We're going to go with the Chiefs and the Steelers now. Okay. The Chiefs have already played the Steelers. They were winning. They won 36-10 the first matchup, and they took their foot off the gas in the fourth quarter. Mahomes only threw 5 passes, I think, in the whole second half. And, if I'm looking at this game, Roethlisberger, he didn't do that well against the Chiefs secondary that first game as well. And I don't see any reason to believe that he's going to do any better this game. And so the line right now, I think, is like the Chiefs minus 14. It's a lot. And I mean, I'm not going to dissect this game too much, but, they tried to take away Travis Kelce, and Byron Pringle and Tyreek Hill had a huge game. And so I look for Kelce to have a little bit better game. They still could probably try to take Kelce away, but they have too many weapons. And not to mention the Steelers' run defense is horrendous. So, McKinnon had a huge game last week. They can go with Gore, Williams, they pick your running back. They're going to have a big game against the Steelers. So I'm not going to talk too much about that, but I'm picking the Chiefs to go on to win. All right, moving on to the NFC, the 49ers and the Cowboys. So this is a really tough game for me. And, the San Francisco 49ers, they're 7th against the run on defense. So they have a really good defense as far as against the run. I don't expect Zeke or Pollard to have a huge game on the ground. The Cowboys, however, are 16th against the run. And so if the 49ers can manage to run the ball effectively with Deebo Samuel and Elijah Mitchell, I think that they have a chance, especially if they're in those third and shorts, second short, third and short, down and distances. I think that's going to bode well for them. I think that the Cowboys are they struggle a little bit defending the middle of the field. So I think George Kittle is going to have a pretty good game as well. I know that they don't have the receivers necessarily. I don't think that they're going to Jimmy G is going to get a lot of passing yards against Diggs and company in the secondary, but I don't think they need to. I think they're going to run ball control, play defense, keep the score low. The problem is with Dak and the receivers on the Cowboys, if they start airing it out, the 49ers corners aren't very good at all. And that if it goes to a shootout, the Cowboys are going to win. If the 49ers can play good defense and keep them in, because they have a good run defense, if they can keep them in third and longs and get them off the field, if they can keep the game low scoring, the 49ers have a great shot at winning. I like the 49ers head coach and special teams more, but I also like the Cowboys passing offense and quarterback more. As far as, O-line goes, they're pretty even. And like I said, the D-line, as far as, and I guess you can go linebackers, the run defense for the 49ers is 7th, Cowboys is 16th. But I'm going Cowboys, but this is the toughest game for me to pick. And so I'm going Cowboys in this game, but just barely. Then you got Cardinals and the Rams. Okay, so when you go Cardinals and Rams, you got to look at, the spread. The Rams are a little too high for me on the spread. I think they're going to get Hopkins back as well this game. J.J. Watt's coming back. I think that the Cardinals are the better team here as far as cohesiveness. I think that, the weather shouldn't play a factor either. They know each other very well, division rivals. And I'm gonna go Cardinals here to beat the Rams. All right. Then you got the Buccaneers and the Eagles. I've seen some analysts saying that this is a great matchup for the Eagles. And honestly, I couldn't be further from the truth. The Eagles could have matched up better with almost any other team in the NFC other than the Buccaneers, because the Eagles have I think the number 1 or 2 rushing offense in the league. Meanwhile, the Buccaneers have the number 1 run defense in the league. So you definitely don't want to play the Buccaneers if you're a running team, which the Eagles are. And so that's going to hurt Jalen Hurts. Look for Dallas Goedert and Devontae Smith to get a lot of looks and targets, as they're going to have to air it out. It's unfortunate that Miles Sanders can't play as well. If they get Levante David back, the Buccaneers, this game, that's going to be huge for the Bucs. But I expect the Bucs to win pretty easily against the Eagles, as they have Mike Evans as well coming back, and the Eagles ranked 22nd and defending the number 1 receivers in the league. So while the Eagles defense is pretty decent, they're not very good at defending the number one receiver. And so I'm going to pick the Buccaneers to move on to the divisional round. Moving up, okay, we got the Bengals and the Titans right here. Derrick Henry should be back, well rested, but I'm still going Bengals here to go to the AFC championship game. And, between the Bills and the Chiefs, this is a tough game. Like I said, if Tre'Davious White was playing, that would help huge dividends against the Chiefs. The Chiefs struggled last year, as you remember, in the Super Bowl. They didn't have offensive line, and they bolstered that offensive line up. Honestly, though, they're giving away that first-round pick for Orlando Brown hasn't really panned out as much as one would hope. But their center draft pick, second round from Oklahoma, has paid off pretty good as well. But I still think the Bills have the number one pass defense. So that's going to bode well against the Chiefs. And the Chiefs just don't look like the Chiefs of old. They don't seem scary to me. They don't seem scary to other teams. They have good days and bad days. They can turn it on, but they also run into slumps as well. And I think in the playoffs, you have to be steady and controllable. So for that reason, I'm picking the Bills. Over here, you have the Packers and the Cardinals. The Packers, they're just a beast right now. You have, Zadarius Smith, he should be coming back. Alexander at corner should be coming back. Bakatari is coming back, the offensive lineman, and they're still the number one. They're still the number one team in the NFL as well right now, and so that's huge for the Packers. Then you have the Cowboys and Buccaneers, and this is a tough game, a toss-up. Tom Brady, he hates losing, but I think as far as the matchup goes and offensive firepower, they don't have Godwin anymore. I think that's going to hurt, and their running game isn't that great. The Cowboys aren't going to be able to run the ball, but they're not really good. They're not going to be able to run the ball that well against the 49ers either. I think it's going to be a close game, kind of like the 49ers, but I'm going to pick the Cowboys to go to the NFC Championship game against the Bucs. Let's see. All right, and going to the Cowboys and Packers right here in the NFC Championship game. Once again, it's going to be a brutal loss for the Cowboys, as I'm going to have the Packers going to the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. And honestly, I don't even think it's going to be close, but I'm going to have the Packers going to the Super Bowl. The Bengals, they're really deadly and lethal. They still have some defensive issues right now. And I'm going to have the Bills going to the Super Bowl against the Packers. So Bengals are really young team. They're going to finally get a playoff win, but a couple playoff wins actually, but they're not going to make it to the Super Bowl this year. And then you have the Bills and the Packers. And I'm going to have for the Super Bowl, my Super Bowl pick is going to be the Buffalo Bills for this year. And Aaron Rodgers and company, I have him leaving the Packers after this season. And, if they were to win the Super Bowl, he might retire, but I expect him to become a free agent and go where he pleases. All right, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know who your Super Bowl winner is and prediction. Please like or subscribe if you like my NFL updates and more NFL news and picks. I appreciate the love. All right, guys. Till next time. Peace.